Tiferet is the trunk of the Sephiric body. He is called Heaven, Son, King, and the Holy One. Blessed be he. The standard rabbinic name for God. He is the son of Kugma and Bina. The next two Sephirots are Neshpha, eternity, and Hod, splendor. They form the right and left legs of the body and are source of prophecy. Yesod, foundation, is the ninth Sephira and represents the phallus, the procreative life force of the universe. He is also called to righteous one, and Proverbs 10:25 is interpreted as applying to him. The righteous one is the foundation of the world. Yesod is the axis, mundi, and cosmic pillar. The light and power of the preceding Sephira are channeled through him at the last Sephira, Malkut. Malkut, kingdom, is also known as Shekinah, presence. In earlier Jewish literature, Shekinah appears frequently as the eminence of God, but is not overtly feminine. In Kabbalah, Shekinah becomes a full-fledged she, daughter of Bina, bride of Tiferet, the feminine half of God. Shekinah is the secret of the possible, receiving the emanation from above and engendering the varieties of life below. The union of Shekinah and Tiferet constitutes the focus of religious life. Human righteous action stimulates Yesod, the righteous one, and brings out the union of the divine couple. Human marriage symbolizes and actualizes divine marriage. Sabbath Eve is the weekly celebration of the cosmic wedding and the ideal time for human lovers to unite. The mystical imagery of the Sephira is stunning. The Kabbalists continually insist that these figures of speech should not be taken literally. They are organic symbols of a spiritual reality beyond normal comprehension. At the start of one of his most anthropomorphic descriptions, Rabbi Shimon cites a verse from Deuteronomy. Cursed be the one who makes a carved or molten image, the work of the hands of an artisan, and sets it up in secret. Sephirotic descriptions are intended to convey something of the beyond. Becoming fixated on the image itself prevents genuine communication. Critics charge that the theory of Ein Sof and the Sephira is dualistic, and by positing and describing 10 aspects of divinity, Kabbalah verges on polytheism. As one iconic classic Kabbalist, Abraham Abulafaya, noted, some adherents of the Sephira have outdone Catholic adherents of the Trinity, turning God into 10. The Kabbalists maintain that the Sephira and Ein Sof form a unity, like a flame joined by a burning coal. It is they and they are it. They are its name and it is they. From the human perspective, the Sephira appears to possess a multiple and independent existence. Ultimately, however, all of them are one. The true reality is the infinite. Nevertheless, the prominent mythological character of the system cannot be denied. In a sense, Kabbalah represents the revenge of myth, its resurgence after being attacked for centuries, after being pronounced dead by rationalist philosophers. The Kabbalists appreciate the profundity of myth and its tenacious appeal. From above to below, The Sapphira depict the drama of emanation, the transition of Ein Sof to creation. In the words of Azriel of Gerona, they constitute the process by which all things come into being and pass away, from below to above. The Sapphira constitute a ladder of ascent back to the One. The union of Tiferet and Shekinah brings birth to the human soul, and the mystical journey begins with the awareness of this spiritual fact of life. Shekinah is the opening to the divine. One who enters must enter through this gate. Once inside, the Sapphira are no longer an abstract theological system. They become a map of consciousness. The mystic climbs and probes, discovering dimensions of being. Spiritual and philosophical wholeness is achieved by meditating on the qualities of each Sapphira, by imitating and integrating the attributes of God. When you cleave to the Sapphira, the divine Holy Spirit enters into you, into every sensation and every movement. But the path is not easy. Divine will can be harsh. Abraham was commanded to sacrifice Isaac in order to balance love with rigor. From the other side, demonic forces threaten and seduce. Contemplatively, the psychologically evil must be encountered, not invaded. By knowing and withstanding the dark underside of wisdom, the spiritual seeker is refined. Near the top of the Sapphiric ladder, meditation reaches Bina. She is called the Shuva, return. The ego returns to the womb of being. Bina cannot be held in thought. She is called who, the meditative question. Who am I? The questioning yields nothing that can be grasped, but rather an intuitive flash illuminating and disappearing as sunbeams play on the surface of water. In the depths of Bina lies Kukma, wisdom. The mystic is nourished from this sphere, profound and primal. It cannot be known consciously, only absorbed in the words of Isaac the blind, one of the earliest Kabbalists of Provence. The inner subtle essences can be contemplated only by sucking, not by knowing. Beyond Kukma is the nothingness of Kita, the annihilation of thought. In this ultimate Sapphira, human consciousness expands, dissolving into infinity. Only rarely does the Zohar explicitly discuss meditation, or mystical experiences. It focuses on theosophy, the interplay of the Sapphira, and on human conduct. Ethical and spiritual behaviors unite the Sapphira, ensuring a flow of blessing and emanation to the lower worlds. Unethical or even evil human activities disrupt the union above, empowering demonic forces. The ecstatic Kabbalah, alongside this theosophical system, other qualities develop an ecstatic Kabbalah. The emphasis here is on meditative techniques, especially the recitation of divine names and combination of letters of the Hebrew alphabet based on Sapphira Yitzhara. The most prominent ecstatic Kabbalist was Abraham Abulafia, born in Spain in 1240. Abulafia traveled and lived in Italy, Sicily, Greece, and the land of Israel. In his travels, he may have been influenced by Sufism and yoga. He combined the teachings of Sefer Yitzhara with Maimonides' theory of prophecy, expounding the technique of achieving a state of inspiration through the fusion of the human and divine intellects. According to Abulafaya, the soul is part of the stream of cosmic life. Our awareness, though, is limited to sensory perceptions, our minds cluttered with sensible forms. The goal is to untie the knots that bind the soul, to free the mind from definitions, to move from constrictions to boundless. But how? If one meditates on abstract truths, however sublime, there is still a specific object of meditation, a limited meaning. Abulafia instead recommends focusing on the pure forms of the letters of the alphabet or on the name of God. Here, there is no concrete particular meaning, no distraction, just the music of pure thought. As the highest form of this meditation, Abulafaya recommends jumping or skipping, a type of free association between various combinations of letters, guided by fairly lax rules. Thereby, consciousness expands. Abulafaya came to see himself as playing a messianic role, as he actually attempted to meet with Pope Nicholas III in the summer of 2080, apparently to discuss the theological and political questions. The Pope condemned him to death by burning, but before the sentence could be carried out, the Pope himself died. After a month in prison, Abulafaya was released. His prophetic and messianic pretensions aroused the opposition of a leading rabbinic authority, Solomon Adret of Barcelona, who condemned Abulafaya as a charlatan. As a result, he was forced to flee to the desolate island of Comini near Malta, and his influence on Spanish Kabbalah was minimized in the Middle East, though ecstatic Kabbalah was readily accepted, and Kabbalists such as Isaac of Akko reveal clear traces of Abulafaya's teachings. In Palestine, Abulafaya's ideas was combined with Sufi elements, and in this way, Sufi views were introduced into Qalaba. Into Qalaba.